Alrighty, welcome back, everybody, to another Wednesday Night Live. League of Inches, boys, and obviously we've got Isaac as well for the first. It's going to be 15 minutes on the dot, guys. I'm already going 2 minutes over it, so he's got to get out of here. He's got a very important day, probably breaking some serious news on the war front or something. Who knows? So he's got to get to that. That's obviously more important than a few rumors and signings for us. But this is your first and official warning, Isaac. Next time you prioritize us over ABC. Thank you very much. Let's go straight to you. Then I'll go and do all my intro spiel after that because I want to talk about as much as we can with your two topics, knowing what they are. So I'm very keen to rip into those. So take it away, please, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing too crazy on the war front, hopefully tonight. So, but yeah, no, we got a few interesting footy topics that I am keen to get into. Of course, some stuff to do with the Tigers. I told you guys last week, there's always something to do with the Tigers. And we got a bit of Sydney Roosters stuff as well. Did you have a preference as to which we got into first? Are you happy with either?
Rip the Band-Aid off and do the Tigers first.
Yeah,
that's what we all want. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
Absolutely, and it's given us a pretty good gift this week. Maybe not so much for the Tigers, but for the rest of the NRL and especially Dragons fans. So we've got an interesting one that's come out over the weekend. Now there's been a ton of speculation, obviously, in recent weeks as to who's staying, who's going, and one of those major pieces that are rumored to be going is Adam Doueihi. So Lebanon international Adam Doueihi looks to be on the outer. Now, everyone has probably heard by now he is being currently advised by Isaac Moses, who has been the leading contributor to a lot of players kind of on their way out of the Tigers in recent weeks and months. But it looks like that, there are two teams that are currently on the table at the moment, the St. George Illawarra Dragons and the Penrith Panthers. Now, the team that I mostly wanted to focus on today is the Dragons. Now, reports have come through that deals have been offered to Adam Doueihi from the Tigers and the Dragons. Now, the Tigers have offered Doueihi a contract worth around $350,000 per year. Meanwhile, the Dragons have outbid them with $400,000 a year. Now, length of contract hasn't been disclosed yet, but those are the two contracts that are currently on the table. On the flip side, we've also got the Penrith Panthers, who are supposedly in the mix, potentially looking for a utility for 2026. Not too sure what's going on with Dane Laurie at the moment over there. So there are a few moving pieces over there. But from what I'm hearing, the Dragons are pretty likely for Doueihi at the moment.
It's a very interesting one, isn't it? Because Panthers straight away for me, it just doesn't feel like the right fit. But who knows with them what they do. But the Dragons as well. Like, I actually don't mind that Dragons play. I can really see him fitting in there. It'd be very interesting to know what length the contract is. $400,000 for Doueihi. I reckon he's a pretty good price because if I'm being honest, I reckon he's been probably over the last couple of years, probably the Tigers' best when you group it into like a 3-year sort of period. He's been there. I remember him breaking down in the sheds a couple of times when they were going through those really bad years and just how much it obviously meant to him. So feels like the Tigers have maybe lowballed him a little bit. I get there's injury history there, but I must say I don't mind the Dragons play. I really don't.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that he probably fits into their system really well going into next year. Now, obviously, you got Jack DeBellin heading out next year. There is a vacant role in that lock role. Or, he can always play in the halves. Now, we know that their halves pairings are far from locked in. If you speak to some very vocal Dragons fans who are not currently happy with the Dragons halves pairing at the moment, he could be a potential option for them moving forward. As for the Tigers offer to Doueihi, I agree. It has been somewhat of a low ball to him. $350,000 for essentially your best player over the last few years. Like, he's not a superstar recruit like, an Api Coruscant or a Jerome Luai. But I also think that the recent, kind of little conflict that's been going between Benji Marshall, potentially Shane Richardson, and Adam Doueihi is also playing a huge role into this. And I think the Tigers are hesitant to put all their eggs in the basket of a player who, one, has, struggled with injury in recent years, but two, isn't getting on the best with the higher ups at the club. So there are, I think, a few more personal kind of levels to it when it comes to Tigers and Dewey. I can't see him in Tigers colours next year. But yeah, on the flip side, you look at the Dragons, and I think he's an amazing fit for them. I think he brings, I think he's a great player, but I think what's really underrated about Dewey is his leadership. And I think that he could bring a real veteran presence to this Dragons outfit that desperately needs it at the moment. And then, if you were to go to Penrith, same old story with Penrith. They make players great. If he's looking to get a 1-year deal at Penrith and then essentially, boost his stocks, that could also be a potential play for him. But I think Dragons are the best spot for him at the moment.
In terms of the Dragons, do we think, like, I understand you just said that, they need sort of a veteran present, probably only in the halves, though. If we look at the rest of the side, like Damien Cook in the spine, you've got Gutho. So you've got two sort of veterans in the spine. And then you've also talking about Valentine Holmes in the centers. So unless you're looking for another veteran center to sort of be on the other side to kind of round that out, or potentially, like we just said, in the halves, I don't think that, do they need more veterans? I actually would almost debate that, like, their youth is what's starting to win them, or like to look sort of better for them. And then at the Panthers, I don't see him having a starting side. If he does go there, I don't see him having a starting spot at all. So he'd just be a reserve player.
Yeah, I'd probably see him kind of sitting, if he were at the Panthers, potentially, on the bench somewhere, in and out of the side. It's not going to be anything cemented. Potentially, like, if they can find a role for him in the starting side, but it's far from guaranteed. When you look at the Dragons, exactly what you said, they do have veterans, but I think they need that link man in the middle. Whether that's, they've got him in the halves or they've got him at lock. Because at the moment, their halves definitely aren't doing it. And if you are going to put him at lock, you've got Jack DeBellin leaving next year. Now, you've got options, like you've got a Hamish Stewart and the like that can kind of come in and fill that role. But, Adam Dewey, I think he's 26, 27. So when we say veteran, he's not anywhere near, 34, 35, like your Cooks and your Val Holmes and stuff. But I think it's vital that they start kind of getting these 1%ers rights, and I see Adam Dewey as a player who can reach that. I don't think he's there yet, but if you can get him in there to nail those 1%ers, I think he'd be huge for them essentially.
I'd throw him in the halves.
Well, but where though? Because you 2026, you got Atkinson coming, and they're very high on Atkinson coming. So yeah, I do like the signing for the Dragons. And I like that. I like what you're saying and everything around that in terms of culture, in terms of veteranship, leadership. And I get that there's a lot of that at the Dragons. I think it fits really nicely. I think for that, he can go anywhere. Like if you need to put him in I think, Isaac, you're right. Put him at the 14 jersey. Bang, there you go. And at $400K, like I'm looking at your Zero Tackle website, funny enough, and having a look at some of those names, $400K is a freaking bargain for Dewey, in my opinion. And like Joel said, with the injury concerns, he hasn't played a lot of footy in the last few years, but like he's not old.
No, not by any stretch. No. And he's a bargain. He's a bargain for that much, especially with the new salary cap. So I love the signing for the Dragons if they pull it through. From what I'm hearing, he's probably the most likely destination for him at the moment. Yeah.
Just before you move on, I have had a few Para fans reach out to the page in recent times about Para going after him. I've been told that there was initial the management's reached out to the Eels a couple of times at the start to partner with Moses and the sort of Lebanese sort of background that they've have played together in the past for the Lebanese team. But that has been sort of turned down by the Eels, who would like to go another way, either with Joash or I think a more experienced, or in probably their thinking, a better six in their opinion there. So can you back that up, or is that what you've heard?
Yeah. So there were talks probably a couple of months ago about Dewey heading over there. But they're really high on Papali'i at the moment. And unless they get a star half on the market, like come through, quickly pivoting to the Eels, they were after, a Sandon Smith as well at one stage. But since seeing the rise of Joash Papali'i, they think that he's their six. And unless a star half comes on the market, they're not going to go after a Dewey to replace him.
Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed because I actually would have loved Sandon Smith in the halves. I think that would be a perfect fit. I think, and I don't want to go too down this because we do need to get one more segment before you go, but I just think Josh needs a little bit more time. He's very fresh in the six, and there's no reason. And I don't see it as a negative. He spends one more year in, say, reserve grade, learning his, applying his trade and being that backup for either fullback or 5'8". If I was the club, I'd rethink what I was thinking there, and I'd actually go back after Sandon Smith, because it does appear with his non-selections of the last couple of weeks, he won't be there next year. There's already probably been internal talks about that, and I would love him to be in the blue and gold. Talk to us talking about the Roosters. Funnily enough, it's a nice little segue, I guess. Your next bit of news for us.
Yeah, perfect. And as you say, Sandon Smith potentially not at the club. This kind of puts a nail in the coffin. So we've got Daly Cherry Evans set to join the Roosters in 2026 before taking on a coaching role. So Daly Cherry Evans, it sounds like he's going to be signing a 1-year deal with the Roosters from 2026. And he will essentially be there to help them get as many wins on the board as possible. I think they view their side as a premiership roster. And essentially he'll retire at the end of 2026 and move into a coaching role with the Roosters. Now, funnily enough, it will probably sound very familiar to a lot of people. The whole Cooper Cronk situation a few years ago, came into the club and then moved into a coaching role in the halves. Funnily enough, Cooper Cronk is reportedly leaving the club at the end of this year, will not be their halves coach any longer. I'm not sure if he'll be with them in any capacity moving forward, but he will not be their halves coach anymore. So it all kind of lines up a little bit for DCE. He'll be at the club next year, and then he'll probably move into a coaching role following that. And I'm assuming probably in a halves coaching role.
That's crazy. That is crazy to give him and offer him a coaching role where he's not even at the club yet. And they've got so many club greats that would be great in those sorts of roles. I reckon that might put a few offside, to be honest with you. And I still don't get the signing. I really don't. For what we've seen in the Roosters young guns have produced this year, for them to sign DC on a 1-year deal at the price of losing Sandon Smith just is completely insane, in my opinion. So I don't know. Obviously, they've been doing it for many, many years. They've got very smart operators at that club, so they do know what they're doing. But I tell you what, I just still cannot wrap my head around this one. And who's to say DC will be a good coach? He's been a fantastic player for so long. And if there was a coaching path to go down, it would be Manly, surely. He's a Manly great. That would make more sense to me if he went and was a coach. But that just, for me, shows that there's been a falling out between him and the club, and it's gotten quite sour now to the point where he won't be there. And I feel like that there's rumors about the Trbojevic brothers. They're not very thrilled with DC at all, and I feel like that might come back to it all. But yeah, interesting times. I don't get that.
No, it makes absolutely zero sense, to be honest. You've got to. I don't know who it's worse by, to be honest. The Manly, DCE, the Roosters. It doesn't work through any avenue. You've got a club legend, and the fact that he's been at Manly for 14, 15 years, and he's going to be coaching the Roosters, and that's where he retires. I don't know. I don't really understand it. And in the Sandon Smith point, I think either way he was on his way out. I think they like Hugo Savala, and they've also got Rodwell in the junior grades as well. So I think either way Sandon Smith was on his way out. But again, it is what it is. I think that DCE commands a certain level of respect, and I think that the Roosters kind of want that in their building.
Yeah, I know you've got to go, so I'll let you go, Isaac. We'll continue to talk about this point, actually, because I want to ask the boys and get their opinions on this one, because I want to know if it seems as ludicrous to them as it does to us. So thank you very much once again. Short and sharp this week. You owe us an extra 5 next week, I'll tell you now.
Absolutely.
So give it something juicy.
Thank you guys for having me on. Sorry for the short one this week, but I will be back next week chatting with you guys again.
Perfect. Thank you, mate. Go and save the world.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Bye, mate. Thank you again to Isaac. Make sure you do go and give him a following. His page is going off at the moment. So incredible growth. But just on that, before we change topic to the intros and all that sort of thing, Jake, your thoughts on that news? DCE 1 year at the Roosters into a guaranteed coaching role. Obviously, that's not head coach, but just some capacity of coaching role. Just seems ridiculous.
Yeah. In the sense of, potentially being a halves coach or something like that. Don't be wrong. I think that he's an experienced player and could probably suit that role, similar to, sort of like he's one of the longest playing sort of halves ever to play the game kind of thing. But at the same time, like you just said, it was a perfect opportunity for him to do that at Manly. Like one more year, you make next year your farewell year, like, and you finish it off there strong, and you try to aim for that grand final or whatever at the club, that you've pretty much dedicated your life to. I don't know. The way I sort of see it is the Roosters pretty much had this beautiful like halves trio, right? They obviously had Sam Walker as their main guy, and then they had to be able to partner him Hugo Savala and Brandon Smith, and they could work out next year. They had the time and the opportunity to work out next year, like basically the perfect combo and the way that they wanted it to be. First of all, Cameron, that is a phenomenal comment. He's awesome. They had the opportunity to really play with their combination, sort of, like this year now that Sam Walker's back and things like that, and they pretty much just kind of cooked that. I think I really think the Roosters have thrown something away here. Like they're choosing to go with a 1 year short-term success over like pretty much the ability to have like a locked-in halves combo for pretty much years to come.
Yeah, it seems odd. Trav, your thoughts on this one before we move on?
I'm keen to know whether they have given up or got rid of Cooper Cronk. I don't understand. Like if they did, and they basically gave Cooper Cronk the sack and said, "Hey, we're bringing DC in a bit to replace you." That just makes me laugh even more, and makes this even stupider. Because I mean, one of the greatest halves in the competition, the dude's as smart as anyone, and then you're going to go bring DCE in. It just makes no sense to me. I don't like the signing at all. This creates a mess. I think that I don't know if the Roosters can recover from, and it'd be very interesting to see how this goes and what happens. I'm not so like novelty or nostalgic as what you guys are around that. Oh, Manly, he's been there for so long, so he should go and coach Manly and things. I think sometimes, and actually most of the time, fresh faces are better for clubs than having someone like that there who's been there for a very long time go and now be a coach there. I think there becomes a bit of a conflict of interest. Just becomes a little bit too much. It's very hard to change the respect level from being a captain player to now do as I tell you as a coach. And I think that becomes quite a blurred line. So I'm not as nostalgic on that as you guys are actually. And I think it's probably a good thing that he gets away from Manly for that, and particularly with what's been happening. But yeah, I don't like
with that, Trav.
Yeah.
Sorry, can I just ask you a question based on the point you just said? So then next year, so he's going to go and play a year for the Roosters. So the same sort of concept's going to happen though, because I know it's not as long. Like he hasn't been there as long. I fully understand that side of it, but he's still going from then being a player into being a coach immediately after. And let's say that next year he has a crappy year. Like last year he's getting old. Let's say that he has a really bad year, and they've already said we're locking you in to have this coaching role kind of thing. Do they stick with that, or what do you think? Like,
I think it's different, but because he's going to a whole new club under a whole new management, there's not all the baggage that's there that the Manly we're all hearing that's happening at Manly. And everyone knows that he's going there to do 1 year as a player to try and help us win a premiership. And then we know that next year you're going to be a coach. Everyone is also under very much no illusion that he's going there to be the coach in the year after. So we know he's going to step into that coaching role. He'll just be on field. And so and Cooper Cronk did it. I don't have a problem. I don't think that's it. I think that's very different. It's a good point, and I get what you're saying, but I think that's different.
Fair enough.
Well, let's get into the show. Again, thank you to Isaac. Make sure you go and give him a follow on Instagram. You'll find him, just search via the people that we are following as well. Shout out to Caxton Street Brewing Company, our major sponsor, helping bring you the show. Shout out to those guys. Big game, obviously, on Friday night against the Broncos versus the Eels. Make sure you head there. Couple of drinks, bit of food before the game, after the game. Great venues, some great tasting beverages for sure. before we get into the first segment, I just want to shout out to both of these individuals that I'm doing this with right now. Jakey Boy had a big win last night, represented the League of Inches name with great pride. So was in a gaming competition for Rugby League 26 against a fellow other content creators in the world. So they were all playing the Rugby League 26 game, and Jake likes to say he's horrible at the game, but that is a pure lie. He's a gun at it, and absolutely put him to the sword. So well done, Jakey Boy.
Thank you very much. It was actually a lot of fun, that sort of competition. I know that the game's very buggy and everyone has a lot of issues with it and stuff like that, but, it is good to just be able to sort of come together and do stuff like that, like a tournament. And, I can't wait till we do a bit of a League of Inches one. That'll be good. I'll challenge everyone. Everyone can challenge. So, no, actually, scratch that. I'm up top. Everyone can challenge me.
We are getting there, guys. So we're just making sure the game is right first at the moment. We don't think it would be too enjoyable doing a competition while it is like it is. So give us a few weeks, or give Big N, I should say, a few weeks. We're ready to go. So we'll just let Big N get on top of their issues, which there's 1,000 of those. But keep tuning into the live streams that Jake is doing. He's doing those once a week at least. So then doing a bit more content about the game here and there as well, packs openings and gameplay, things like that. So really do appreciate it. Secondly, another social media, I feel like I'm in the presence of greatness at the moment, but Travie Boy, how's your newfound fame, mate? You've gone viral this afternoon, and I can't believe you're with us tonight.
Couldn't get through the door. Hey, well, you're all privileged to be in my presence.
Awesome.
I haven't heard about this. I was at training, so what's happened?
Break Brayley.
Right. So shout out to Tabs from Supercoach Experience. Put a little reel together tonight for those struggling to say Blake Brayley. So glad I said that right then, because that would have been embarrassing. And Trav, Mr. I don't make mistakes over here, has made a little boo-boo, and he's been videoed and recorded with it, and features in the greatest hits of podcasters out there who fail or stumble to say the names. So
Tommy Sangster, Timmy Williams,
yes,
the Stavs himself, his partner, myself, yeah.
He's done well for himself. So shout out to you, Trav, with your newfound fame.
I love it.
He'll now start charging you for selfies, signatures, things like that, because he's now Mr. Worldwide.
It's already happening.
Let's go. Thank you. Sorry, Jake.
I was going to say, I should have got one off your Magic round. Now I've got to actually ask you for one. It's too late,
Yeah, it's not the same now. It's not the same. He'll have bodyguards and everything with him now moving forward.
I'll let my assistant get in contact.
Let's get into it. Thank you to Vital Man Supplements for sponsoring this first segment. You make sure you use LOI code to get 10% off and also help us out a little bit there as well. Fantastic products there. And again, it's Michael Witt's business, former rugby league legend. Really great products there. First, and funny enough, he's based on the Gold Coast, but this is about the Gold Coast Titans. Desi Boy. We also saw that blow up post game, guys walking out of the shower soaking wet in their budgies and things like that. The owner just went, oh shit, I better get out of here. This isn't for me. Trainers looking at Des going, what's going on here? People are coming out now saying this is all staged. Des knew what he was doing. Who knows? But it has made for great theatre. That's one thing for sure. I'm actually interested to see the fallout here, boys, because the more I think about it, and I laughed at the start, still laugh about it, I love it, but at the same time, I feel like there is a bit of a fallout here because the Titans are trying to avoid winning the wooden spoon, and it's very clear that this relationship for Des and the Titans playing group is not working and hasn't worked from the get-go. They just don't get on style of plays. They don't like personalities, things like that. Who knows? But just not working. I feel like this hasn't really helped at all. Like, if anything, I just feel like the Titans will now, if it was possible, get even worse. Jake, what are you thinking? The blow up? They're last, so it's probably worth the try. And I love what Desi was doing, but now I sit back and after a few days, I'm going, oh, I don't know.
No, mate. If I've got a grown man with that hair, screaming at me and spitting at me, put a brick wall in front of me and watch me run through it for that man. I'm ready to go. No, like you can see it in their faces, man. Like in the video, they're all just sitting there like real down and mopey. And like I don't know about you. I know that certain players react to certain different coaching styles and stuff like that. To be honest with you, I don't know anyone, and I seriously mean this. I don't know anyone who's ever reacted positively to that, like to a spray that's like pretty much unless you're the Storm and you're getting it every day by Craig Bellamy, and pretty much that's your job. It's just to get yelled at. Then other than that, like I just don't think that anyone like will react positively to it. You know what? I'd be willing to put my house on like 13 plus whatever team they're versing next week, because I just think they're going to come out and they're going to make a statement to Des like, you don't speak to us like that. Like, shut up. I reckon that's what's going to happen.
So you're going to tip the Titans this week?
No, other way around. Other way around.
On record?
No, other way around.
Oh, you're versing whoever will pump the Titans.
Yeah. No.
Okay,
so I'd be tipping against the Titans 13 plus because they're going to basically come out and go, stuff you, Des. Like, we don't, Yeah.
I misunderstood you too, Joe.
sorry, my bad. That must have been the way I said it. But yeah, no. 100% tip against Titans, big time. I've never seen it work for anyone other than, like I said, Craig Bellamy. But again, everyone knows what they're going into with the Storm, and they know that him as a coach brings success. You do the things he asks you to do, you are successful, right? And don't be wrong, Des has shown success before, but it's been a long time. That doesn't like. It's been a long time since it's been a really long time since he's shown that success. And players under him don't have that same level of respect as you do with Bellamy. There's no way.
Yeah, true. Trav, what's your reactions from?
Word is that the boys had a shower and did all that sort of stuff before Desi even got the chance to have a chat to them. I think that pissed Desi off. There was no sort of team review. I think that's a sign of the club or the players just not giving a shit. And I think that's, the form of Desi then just had enough of it. I've seen, I think today the owner, Rebecca Frizzell, came out and said, no, I'm standing for it. I like what he did. We're happy for that. If the players don't come up and aren't doing what their job is and what they're being paid for, they need to be called out for it. So I think this was just Desi's had a gutful of it. Desi's well in his rights to doing it. This is not a soft sport. These are gladiators. They can take a spray and bloody well, if they need it, they should take it and get it and be ready for it. We're starting to get into too soft a world if we're having issues with a coach in a professional sport who's not happy about the way they've played over a period of time. And then he gives them a spray because he's pissed because they showed him very limited respect and went into the showers before he'd even got in there and did a team review. I got no problem with it.
Let me clarify that I don't think I have a problem with it. I think it's freaking hilarious. I just don't think they're going to react well to it.
Then that's a problem in itself, right? That's a massive problem in itself. And if the guys don't do that, then they should have their contracts torn up. Like it's as simple as that, right? But this is absolute garbage, absolute garbage.
And that's the thing. I feel like now what Rebecca's obviously said today, she's now taken full 100% control of that club. She's brought the other 50% share recently, and by all reports, they are absolutely going to turn that place upside down in pretty much any last-ditch hope to make this club a success. And I think that's probably what she needed to see with her own eyes, and that reaction and how those players reacted post that loss. Because to be fair, they should have won that game. They were such a better team in the first half, and then just completely lost it from themselves, for themselves, I should say. And that was obviously what enough is enough. So hopefully seeing that, and that, if, like you said, Trav, if the players aren't up for that, get them going. Like, see you later. Like, build from the start, build from scratch.
I do just need to say as well, from all the reports that I've seen, is that he did actually give them a spray, and then the guys went to the shower, and then that's what I've
seen some of the comments, but I've just seen these comments too. I haven't seen much today, but I did read an article from someone or Chammers or something like that a couple of days ago or whatever that said that he hadn't even got to the rooms yet. So there's obviously a lot of misinformation around this whole situation. But either way, it doesn't matter. Like the point is, a spray is a spray, and it was a deserved spray. If he's given him one, they've got up and he wants to give it again, then get the hell out of the shower and listen to your coach, like, and stop making a joke out of it. Like, just freaking do as you're told. Sometimes you just got to do it. Literally just do as you're told and do it. Like, you're a player. I get that you're the product. We watch it. We don't watch it for the coaches. We watch it for the players. I get it. But sometimes you got to remember that your space is a player. Play, listen, do as you're told.
And we won't ever know the truth behind all the rumors about, was it staged, things like that. But at the end of the day, he's just gone out and embarrassed that playing group. Like, that's all we've been talking about for this week so far. And that was probably Des's plan. Whether he wanted to do it on purpose and knew that the camera was there or not, he's embarrassed the shit out of this group. And now it's time for them to react. So let's see where it goes from here and what they produce for the rest of the year, because they need to avoid the wooden spoon at all costs, because that club needs to start building some success there. Moving forward, I forgot about one little topic that I wanted to quickly put in here, boys, to discuss, and that's obviously the Kevin Walters appointment for the Kangaroos job. Huge news in the rugby league world over the last day or so. He spoke today about it, confirmed the news, all that. So that's all official. Weirdest contract I've ever seen in my life, a 3-game contract. So that's just shocking in itself, in my opinion. And it, to me, shows that they haven't got full confidence in Kevin doing the job for the World Cup, because obviously next year is the World Cup year. So to be thinking that they might even change their coach after this test series, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm excited for it. An old-fashioned test match, 3-game test match against the Poms. How good. But it's very interesting times, because you've all seen sort of the post today. It's sort of just a rough guide to show you where things are at, because every year there's more and more of this top-line talent going and playing for the Pacific Island nations, which I do think is a fantastic thing for the game. But what we're starting to see and realize is, and I think we all have known this for a while now, is how much the island nations are giving to NRL in terms of talent-wise. And if this continues in the next 5-10 years, Australia will be ranked like 6, 7, 8. Like, there'll be some real struggles going on there. And I even looked at the team today and thought, I think they should beat England still. I don't think that's a trouble for them. But I do think if they were to verse Samoa or something at the end of the year, I don't think Australia would win a 3-game series. I think Samoa would probably beat us 3-0. Like, it's not a great looking Australian team, Trav. So there's a lot of work for Kevin Walters to do. He's got 3 games to do it.
Yeah, look, I don't know. Who else put their hand up for it? The only other people I heard put their hand up for it was Smithy. So,
and Bennett, but they didn't. They said no to Bennett because they
said
want,
no because he's coaching.
Coach.
Yeah, so I just it's the worst case of a. I mean, I'd take Kevin Walters over Smith at this point in time. But to be fair, Smith is not shown as a coach just yet. I think he's going to be an amazing one if he puts his hand up for it. But I think put him in that limelight there. I have a sneaky feeling that they've picked him so that they can hope that Payne Haas doesn't defect to Samoa. So let's see if that works and see how that goes. I just, like this screams to me like it's an apprenticeship, and I don't think we're in the right position to be putting an apprenticeship into our Australian team. And I don't like that. It makes no sense to me, but let's see. I also, like, I looked at that Samoa team, and that Samoa team is sick, and I'd be very keen to watch that game. But I don't hate the Australian team at all. I still think it's a bloody good team, led by some of the world best players in their spot. So I'm pretty happy with that. I don't think it's that bad. But if anything, this is a wake-up call to Australian sports, to the Centre of Excellence, to schools, to everyone, to say we need to put a little bit more money into NRL and to our Australian sports people, because we're very quickly getting taken over.
It's an interesting point. If Tanya, shout out to Tanya as well, doing a great job behind the scenes as the producer for the live shows. She's too scared to show her face on camera, so she doesn't say hello to everyone. But show that Daniel Halston 3-game comment again, because it's a really good point. Because for mine, Kevin Walters has been hotly tipped in the last couple of weeks to be the front man for this Titans job. So, and they just told, first of all, Mal that he couldn't do it because he's going to be coaching the Bears, and that starts from November 1, trying to sign players and things like that. Well, Kevin will be in the same boat. Like, if he gets this gig, because by reports, Des could be gone as early as next week after he pulls up from this 500 game match that he gets to coach on the weekend, and shout out to him for that. But it is it's a dangerous little situation that the Kangaroos could find themselves in the NRL themselves, who will point this, because Kevy goes signs with the Titans. I wonder if they go, well, you can't go over there, because I don't think he would want to go over there. He'll want to prioritize the Titans, and getting them on the front foot, signing and dealing with probably Fafita will be his first issue, and probably solving the 3-2 with the Campbell, Brimson and Keeney dilemma that is happening there at the club. Jake, it could be a few more headaches before we get to England.
Oh yeah, I mean it could change on a, especially. I don't even know. Like, what I'm most interested in all of this is what Payne Haas decides to do, because that can just throw everything out of whack. To be completely honest with you, has he decided? Has he?
It's not official, but every bit of word out there at the moment is saying it's going to be Samoa.
Yeah. The way I see it is how we need an experienced coach in there. Yeah, sorry, I just got completely lost for a second. We need an experienced coach in there, and I think Kevy's the choice.
You're just thinking about the rugby league game. That's your problem. You just want to go and open some more packs. You're addicted. Absolutely.
I'm not. When you were talking before my headset turned off, so I'm honestly just trying to go off what you said right at the end.
Let's wake you up a little bit. Let's wake you up and go to a segment that I think will wake everyone up and get a bit fiery, because we're going to talk about Nelson Solomona and his elbow. So he's got 2 weeks. I want to discuss, first of all, the initial incident. And me and shout out to Cam in the comments. Obviously, you joined me on the Sunday night, and I think you did a great job. Hope you all enjoyed the podcast. Some great feedback so far. But while he's in the comments, make sure you say hi to Cam and give him a shout out for obviously his debut on Sunday, and let us know he can be back in a jiffy. But we had our say on it. I want to hear from a Storm fan, and I want to hear from Jake their thoughts on the initial incident. So he's got up, clobbered Simpkin in the head. I don't know where his head is, but it's gone over somewhere. It's out of the ground. Hitting that hard, but they ended up taking the try off Harry Grant, which potentially lost the Melbourne Storm the game in the end, because there wasn't much in that game at all. Manly won it just. That try would have got him on probably the front foot. And secondly, it was just put on report. There was no sin bin involved, which I think was, I'm going to be honest, I think it's a joke that sort of play isn't a sin binable offence. Who do I go? Jake, let you tackle it first.
I don't know how he stayed on the. I don't know how he stayed on the field. I truly do not know how he stayed on the field. And I actually just saw in the comment, right? So Cameron's just said Lomax did it for New South Wales and got no weeks and stuff like that.
Oh,
I actually didn't agree with that choice. I thought he should have, because I think I know there's the whole talk about it being Origin and it's a different game. You still can't go around elbowing blokes in the head. Like, I'll be honest with you, Lomax should have gotten weeks for that. He should have been probably sent off in that, or if you give the penalty in the game, doesn't matter. He should still go for that. And then
sin bin.
100%. And that should have gone. That's just a fact. Yeah. There's no debating it. He should have gone.
I don't get it either. I don't get why people keep bringing up the Lomax stuff. It's like, are we going to continue to not punish a punishable offence properly because someone beforehand stuffed up and didn't do it the right way a month or two ago? Like, if we're going down that path, we're in huge trouble. Like, that was a pure mistake. We continue to say the officials continue to stuff up and we want improvement. So that's professional foul, in my opinion, and that is something that should just be out of the game. The damage that can cause is ridiculous. Trav, you're the Storm fan here. I feel like you're bubbling along. Let's hear it.
No, I said to my wife when it happened at the time that was a rubbish elbow, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. People are sitting here talking about the Lomax injury, and I think it's more because and it's been brought up because that's an example that was set. And if you're going to link to two and try to compare the two, then you can't, because one got no weeks, actually only got a small fine. The other one's now been suspended for 2. So therefore, you've set a precedent. And the NRL has set a precedent by not suspending or doing anything to Lomax. So therefore, if you're going to be consistent, then Nas technically shouldn't have got anything. I actually think Nah should have got more than 2 weeks. I'm going to be flat out and honest. I think he should have. I think that elbow that he did was garbage at a really bad time. It was unnecessary and unneeded. I don't think, actually, and I'm very confident, now I can't speak for Nas, but I'm very confident that he did not elbow Simpkin in the head on purpose. I think it was more his action of trying to get him off the tape, off a dude who was laying on him to try and go through. But either way, it's irrelevant. The action was what he was. He elbowed the dude through the center of his face and off he went. So it's as simple as that. And I think it's fair that he should get 3 weeks for it, so straight away.
Nicely put. Jake, you like you're about to blow. Do you have something to say?
I'm not about to blow. I don't disagree with you, but also to be fair, he did that on purpose. He so did that on purpose.
Well, you're clear. So are you disagreeing with Cameron Smith, Paul Gallen, and Gus, who all said on the Sunday Footy Show that that's a very common incident that players do often, and that only that he caught an elbow through his head? That they all said in that action that they don't reckon he did it on purpose either. He's not the only one. Hindy on the Sunday show after the game on Sunday afternoon said the exact same thing, and he's a para boy, and he's one of your boys. He
didn't give me a chance to answer. He asked me.
No. I'm just giving you examples to say these are guys that have played who are saying that no, they don't think he actually did that on purpose.
And I do disagree with them 100%.
Yeah. So
mate,
then you must have no idea. Why are you talking about this then? If these guys are saying it and they're going out and saying,
don't get me wrong, right? So like they've played at the highest level. That doesn't mean I haven't played. I'm
not arguing that you have or haven't.
I understand how getting up works too. And you don't need to do this to get up. You don't need to send an elbow into someone's head to get up.
Strong arm.
That's just a fact. Like, don't get me wrong. I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, from the position he was in, right, doing that would not in any capacity.
It's a pointless argument because at the end of the day, I said that he should have got more than 2 weeks.
I agree with you, and like
players do it all the time, and you're nitpicking something to try and continue an argument or continue a narrative that you two want to try. So I'm not going to go.
I'm sorry, but
it's ridiculous.
I'm sorry, but to say, and these past players and that so-called experts saying it, this isn't a common practice. Every time in that,
it is.
Hang on a second, Trav. Let me finish. Let me finish what I'm trying to say, please. Everyone was back in that comment that I put up and that post tried to. Anyone can only reference Lomax so far. So everyone's trying to turn around and say this is a common occurrence. How come you've only got one example of it happening all year?
No, because
it's not common at all.
It's a common action. It's just not hitting people in the head like he accidentally did, according to what people are trying to say.
Can I say one thing too? I think Lomax did it on purpose. I'll be honest with that. Lomax did that on purpose too. I'm not denying this. I think on purpose. I think both of them were on purpose. This is not me saying like only Nas did his on purpose. Lomax struck him, man. He should have gone too. I'm so on that side. But the action itself was a choice. They both made a choice to hit. I'm believing that that's where I'm at. It's okay to disagree. It's a pointless argument, like you said. It's just the fact that I do think both were purposeful strikes.
Yeah. Cam Smith, smirked when he was playing along with it. So they know deep down inside. Some of these past players are very respectful with their views. They're not going to come out and put a player under the truck, so to speak, under the bus, because they've all probably gone ahead and done similar things when they were playing, and they always want to protect the players. They've got that playerhood, so to speak. So no one's getting up elbowing players directly to the head. I just don't buy that one bit whatsoever. It's just it's an illegal action. It should be more weeks. I agree with that as well. And I'm just shocked that it wasn't a sin bin. If the NRL want to be serious about this, and you could even go and turn it another way and say, if the NRL is so serious about head knocks and concussions and protecting the player's head, you've just seen a direct, forceful elbow to someone's head, and you're telling me it's not a sin bin? And how is that not mixed messages from the NRL? Like you're trying to say you're taking something on seriously, yet something that can cause so much damage to someone is treated like basically a joke. Like, I just think that was an absolute, it's just ridiculous when you look more and more into it. He should have been sin bin. And I actually heard a few people over the last few days say it. And I don't think it's that bad, that far out of it. It could also be a send-off. It's that serious in my opinion. So.
I don't disagree with you. I said at the time, and I was sitting there, I hated what he did. I thought it was rubbish. I didn't like it. I still think it should have been more. And I agree with you. And I also said at the time, the Storm are very lucky that we're not one man down. Simple as that.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with you in that action at all. One iota.
We are not getting into the Anderson bit either, because that'll go again. So we're not doing that tonight. So.
I was just going to say it's a bit shocking too, because we all know how well known the NRL are for their consistency. Of course, like that's something that we know that the NRL is
uber consistent.
Oh, 100%. Like they're the most consistent sporting competition pretty much on earth, I think. So, that's why I'm a little bit shocked that we even have to have this discussion. Sorry.
Typical. I'm not saying it to be an arsehole or anything. I'm actually just saying it so we're not here for another 15 minutes in a heated debate, because I know for a fact right now me and Trav have differing opinions on that, what happened, and I just don't want to erase it. We've got other points to get to. So I won't. I'm happy to bring it up if people want to go there, but that's not the reason I'm not doing it. I'm not shying away from anything. I'm very much confident in my opinions on that matter. So moving forward, Rookie of the Year. Now, I feel like this could be turned slightly now that Iongi's been ruled out for minimum 4 weeks, potentially 6 weeks. This could hurt his chances. I want to know what you boys think who will be the Rookie of the Year. I think there's 3 hot candidates for this. There's obviously Iongi, Mark Nwanganitawasi, and there's also Leka Halasima, who again just was freakish on the weekend. That try is just one of the best individual tries I think we'll ever see in our time. But I, to be honest with you, I'd probably Iongi just out in front. I think he's been phenomenal for a team really struggling this year. I think if he was in one of those top 8 teams, we'd probably be talking about him a lot more. But I think now that the injuries happen, I think that probably puts Halasima just in front. Trav?
Yeah, we've been blessed with some pretty gun rookies this year, haven't we? Like, unfortunately, those rookies have been affected by injuries. But the first one I wanted to go is if he hadn't been affected by an injury, Tamali's locked that award up. But unfortunately got injured. I think Robert Toya really should be in the argument. I think he's had a fantastic year. Obviously, without now talking around what he did in Origin doesn't. Well, actually, I'm not 100% sure if that can affect or help you win your case. It should, but whether it does or not, it's another story. But
if Origin in your rookie year, you should be getting something
and do what he did. Like, he wasn't just a passenger or a position. Like, he was in the top 5 for 2 of those games as best on ground. So for the Maroons. It should be, but I'm not 100% sure whether it is or not. But I think Toya's name should be put into that argument. I like what Iongi's done. Unfortunately, I don't think Iongi really was in that conversation until about a third of the way through the season. And then Iongi, around just before Moses got back was when he started to really start to stamp his foot on that position, because before that there was questions around whether he should be in that position, and it was clearly asked, and people did say that. We even said it on here, whether he should be in that spot, but then he locked that away, and then Moses turned up, and then over Origin period he's been fantastic, and now he's going to miss the last third of the year. So I'm not sure he's played enough games. But like, you've got you guys in Paris should be super stoked that you've just locked away for the next 8 to 10 years your fullback, because he's a superstar. But
hope so.
Yeah, like right now I think it's Halasima's, but I'm not 100% confident on him either, because he obviously didn't start the year, so, and he's been really good in patches. He's been actually very good in parts, but I'm not sure whether he's got that part. So it's really up and down. I'm on the Toya path, to be fair.
Just before I throw to you, Jake, just quickly, Shiba Arsene was mentioned. He doesn't qualify. He has played for a number of years now, and he's got well over I think it's 5 games. If once you get over 5 games, you don't qualify for that year. So Shiba, unfortunately, does not qualify, but he's had a phenomenal year. Probably if you have an award, and we'll probably do an award show at the end of the year like we did last year, but if you have one of those best improvements or something, he'll be no doubt getting that award. So Belinda Sharp. Oh wow, the NRL hate us even more now. We don't get invited to events as it is. They hate us, so it's all good. It is what it is there. Just as well, with just off the back of what Trav said, I think both of those players sort of had up and down years. If you're sort of talking like that, Marky Mark, hasn't it? I know it's people out there are questioning if he really is a rookie because obviously he's had a great career so far in another code in the rugby sevens background and things like that. But he has actually, when you sit back and think, he has been super consistent this year and just had consistent moment after moments. Like some might not like it, but talking rookie, he qualifies for it, and he might be the one walking away with it. Jake, who's your pick?
I'll say that I had sorry. If I only finished off this season, I had him, and I reckon honestly I honestly say comfortably, because I reckon he pretty much did the same performance week in and week out, but it was all quality like 7s and 8s. That's where I'm like, the only reason I say that. But I've actually got Marky Mark above all. That's where I'm sitting. I think those games where he put away some pretty spectacular tries would have netted him as like a lot there kind of thing. And I understand there's been a little bit of inconsistency, but pretty much in every game he's scoring a try, and he's sort of contributing to their wins and losses kind of thing. No, not their losses, sorry. He's contributing pretty much in every one of their wins this year kind of thing. So he's mine. Don't get me wrong, Leck has been playing incredibly, and I would not be surprised if he got it, but my second would probably be Marky Mark.
So just a quick one. So I did this as a vote a couple of days ago on Instagram. There was over 400 votes or something. Halasima won it by 2% to Iongi, and then Marky Mark had 28%. So 37% for Halasima, 35% Iongi, and 28% for Marky Mark. So interested. That was just before it was confirmed Iongi's injury as well, though. So not too sure. I don't know what you said just then, Trav. You muted. What did you say?
My bad, I coughed. It blows my mind that Toy is not spoken about more.
Yeah.
It just blows my mind, because
I think that there's been
such an underrated year that he's had.
It is, but there's also been a lot of games where he has kind of just been there almost. Like he's had some huge ones, but he's also had a lot of games where he kind of.
But he did play.
I'm not denying.
Plus, he's
I'm not denying that.
He doesn't need, and I'm not arguing there, like with all that sort of stuff. Like I know what you're trying to say, but he plays a different role in a different team. Like, yeah,
you have to go off you have to go off what they play, I suppose, like in the way that they play, what they get told. That's all. Like they get coached a certain way to do certain things, and he's had some massive games, but also I know he got picked for Origin. I'm not, but there's also been games in the regular season where he kind of has just existed. He's just been there. So like. I don't have him up there. Oh, I have him up there, but I just don't think he'll get it.
Look, talking about the Eels and there is a little talking point here that I know Jake wants to address, so I'll let him address it. It's along the lines of he wants to talk about the fact that Royals has chosen to play Joash Papali at fullback this week and to replace Iongi, who is out for 4 to 6 weeks. Considering Riles said he's locked in at 5'8", obviously Moses is back this week, so could have been a great time to actually have those two work a combination up leading into next year. We're under the belief that will be the 6 and 7 for next year, provided there is no signing. But instead, and I don't think this was on anyone's radar, Dean Hawkins gets the 5'8" spot. Still no Dylan Brown, which... after the Iongi injury, I thought that meant Dylan Brown was straight back into this side, but going a different way. And to be fair, Jake, before I throw to you, I don't think in any plans whatsoever, Hawkins and Moses will be starting in the halves next year. What are your thoughts?
I think if that's the case, we just finally got our full strength back line back. So Simonson, Penasini, and Russell are all there, and 2 of those can play fullback. So I understand Josh's natural position is fullback. I'm so on board with that, and that's like where he's grown up playing. That's what he plays, fullback. But Riles has basically come out and said, well, we've made the decision. He's going to be playing 5'8" starting next year. He will be our 5'8". And we finally get the opportunity for him to play next to Moses. So at least for 1 week, you'd assume play Simonson at the back. Like he's not in the squad right now. He didn't get picked in the starting side. Shift him to fullback for a round, just for 1 week, whatever. Play Joash next. What's that? That he got dropped. Yes, it is. But yeah, the fact that he's not playing, I'm not happy with. But we're not talking about that. He should just get shifted to fullback. Joash should be staying in that 5'8" role because he finally gets to play next to Moses, which I'm confused. I wouldn't put Lomax at fullback because he's not going to I don't know. I think keep him where he is and you just shift Simonson or whatever. Yeah, but
yeah, I like
Joash.
Joash
Joash needs the reps. Joash needs the reps. That's where I'm at. He needs the reps. If he's going to play 5'8" next year, he needs the reps. He's not in the plans to play fullback next year, so it doesn't benefit us to play him there. So I don't know. I'm not happy about it, to be honest with you. I think the side he's picked is pretty good. It looks okay, and I'm sure Josh is going to do a really good job at fullback, but that's pointless. It's almost.
It's quite funny because Riles has been spruiking about the future and planning for the future over the last few weeks, and to make this change that isn't a step into the future because it's not going to be how they run out next year is a bit funny in my eyes and contradicts himself. So, look, I think he's doing some great things. Jason Riles, do not get me wrong, this isn't a hate on him at all, but just to call a spade, I'm just very shocked at the way he's gone with these selections. And look, I know Dylan Brownie's out leaving at the end of the year, but I think we've seen him play his best football with Moses back. The fact that Moses was back this week, I thought it could have been good to have him back as well if he was going to go that route and put Papali at fullback. I would have gone there. I don't like Hawkins and Moses together. I don't think it makes any sense whatsoever. They're both controlling sort of organising players. And Hawkins doesn't really have much of a running game, in my opinion. So it just sort of nullifies that position. So not really sure of it. I think Papali showed last week he's got to learn how to play as a half in this game as well. So he needs every game he can get at the moment, and the best practice you can get is on the field. To play as a 6 and play alongside Moses will be a calming influence to him, and he could learn so much from him. Yes, he'll still do that at fullback to a certain extent, but partnering, I think, 6 as a 7 would be totally different. Trav?
Oh, I don't really have an opinion other than
Lomax to fullback.
Lomax to fullback. Please, that would just be a no-brainer to me. But I think you guys summed it up really well. Like, it doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't you put it? Like, I haven't actually heard Ryle say that Papali is Papaliu is the 6 next year. So has he officially said that? He has officially said that.
Yeah. He said he's got first crack. He said he's got first crack at it next year.
So that makes no sense. So you should be giving him that opportunity. Is it matchup? Maybe you don't like the Broncos matchup and you're trying to sort of protect it a little bit, but then you play the Storm next week. So you wouldn't be picking him against that one either. So then it's delayed again. So just put him in. So yeah. I don't know.
No, we don't the reps next week. They're on a losing streak. We'll get them. It's all right. They got one loss. That's a losing streak for the Storm. That's where everyone else, it's about 6 losses in a row is considered a losing streak. Let's get in the final talking point of the night, which I know will pique Trav's interest because he is in love with the bloke and it's made him go viral. Blake Brayley has put down talks, I guess, or squashed any extension talks at this present time. He's declined to talk to the Sharkies about it. He's declined the current contract value. I think they offered him, apparently Hooper said tonight, I watched it, and I don't want to say it, but it definitely didn't look confident in what he said. It looked like it was almost a made-up figure, but he said 650. That was what he said on an NRL 360, so let's go with that for now. Tell you what, Trav, you can talk about your boy. He's very close to your heart at the moment. What are you thinking? What do you reckon he's worth on the open market?
Well, when the Perth Bears and Papua New Guinea are sniffing around, he's worth $1 million. Simple as that. Like,
wow.
Yeah. The way he's playing and what it is, that's how much he's worth. And I mean, even today, it came out as that he's one of their 3 marquee guys that they're trying to look at on next to Tino and Munster, and that's what they're willing to pay. So I think Brayley is a no-brainer. I laughed at that when I saw 650 for Brayley. I thought that was hilarious. He's worth at least 100 to 200 more than that. But yeah. I think he's got a future, and he's just starting to come into that position now where he's not just a hooker, like he's the engine room and the leading of that team. and he's showing and developing and evolving into that position, and he's worth every single cent. I think he's going to be. To be fair, I reckon he's surpassed Robson as a hooker. I think he should be the hooker for New South Wales next year. With what he can bring, Robson's your meat and potatoes hooker. He's literally just going to get it, play it, and off you go and be defensive. Whereas Brayley's now locked himself into being an attacking player. So yeah, well, when you've got those clubs coming around, Break Brayley is worth $1 million.
Well done. You'll be in the mirror after this practicing that. Jake?
Yeah. Oh, I understand your point with like the Perth and all those guys. But like if I'm giving like the figure that I kind of see him like as my dollar value based on current signings and the way it's already like where it's at the moment, I'm looking at 750. 750 would be my figure. Like if I'm like looking at a figure I want him for, ideally 750, I'd be willing to push to 8. I wouldn't go above it. Don't be wrong. I think he's a really, really good hooker. I think he's developed really, really well this year. He's developed a running game that can carve up opponents. His defense has improved heaps. But for me, I'm sitting at about 750, 800.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. I think Jared did say that he'd go up 100, 150 from that 650 figure to start with. So I think I agree pretty much with that. And it makes me think, going back to what I said a few weeks ago, it's been now reported by a few other journalists that Sharks apparently pretty heavy with their cap. They don't have much room to maneuver at all at the moment. And it goes back to, I guess, the points of Nico. I want to ask you boys, would you prioritize re-signing Blake Brayley for, let's say, that extra 150K?
Well, you focused on that. I saw it.
I'm making sure I don't want to feature. I'll tell you, I know someone's watching me like a hawk at the moment, so that's all well and good. Would you prioritize re-signing him if it meant upsetting Nico? You probably have to offer him 100 or 200K less than what his current deal is on, which, to be honest with you, I think is pretty fair for what they've got overall from Nico so far since he's been at Cronulla. But you do run the risk of upsetting Nico, I guess, and him leaving and saying, nope, I'm worth this much. What would you do, Trav? Would you push for it to keep Blake, or you'd go, this is what we've got, 650's it, take it?
Oh, man, I'd be pulling the brakes on Nico Hines and bringing up Break Brayley and going that way. But 100% I'd be going there. Yeah, I'm going to lap it up. Yeah, look, and everyone, I love what everyone's saying, and I think everyone's right. Like, he hasn't played enough rep footy, and is he that good? But depending on what he's going to be like behind a forward pack and that, and I think he's actually shown this year that, particularly recently, that he is that good, and he will be that good. And you put him in that front line as a marquee hooker in a new club, and he really is that good. What I had to laugh about today is that I heard, whether this is true or not, I heard that they offered McInnes 300K. Is that not laughable? When you come through and you hear what Isaac has said to us about what they want to offer Dewey, and you're only going to, and the Sharks are so top heavy in their forward pack that they're offering McInnes 300K. Mind blown, man. Mind blown. But yeah, to answer your question, I've gone off track. I'd be pulling the brakes on Nico. And prioritising Brayley.
Nick, I can't remember who picked him up in our Div 1 draft for Blake Brayley, but I'm guessing he would have gone early. He would have gone mid-draft at some point. Next year, I'll tell you what, he'll go up a bit higher. There'll be a few people that will want him early on. Jake, do you remember who got in for Div 2? Not
no
you.
Idea.
Not you?
No, not me. I went with Connor Watson because I was doing Julie's.
Okay. What about your thoughts? Would you risk upsetting Nico to ensure you kept Blake Brayley at the club?
I actually get a... Oh, he means the draft teams. Did any of us pick him up?
Oh.
Our ones that we did. You'll have to pull it up after.
Oh, no, I don't think either. No one did, I don't think. I had Little.
I've got Plath.
Oh, yeah, I went with Riley Smith because I wanted to go cheap.
Yeah, you did.
I remember.
You went real cheap.
Yeah, it was good, and I was happy.
He's not even going to play hooker at your team.
I'm still happy with that signing. He's still our starting. I hope you're right. Anyway,
We are still going to
I-
get them out. Just a reminder about that when the game that those bugs do go out, we will
true.
organize those teams and then we'll have them simulated. We'll do a verse each other 5 times or something, see who comes out, have a grand final, things like that. And we'll record them all. We'll upload them onto the YouTube, things like that, so you can all enjoy them and watch them.
I like how we have to simulate it because you guys are too scared to verse me. No, that's all right.
Well, excuse the data,
good with
mate.
that.
Excuse the data. Excuse the data. Thank you very much.
Don't play
Jake,
that.
give me comments. Yeah.
To answer your question, I believe that
Oh, wait a
if Nico
second.
is if Nico's a team player, like I know I've talked about this before. I think that your higher end paid players, if they're willing to take that 150K sort of less like area to sign your better players, they're the ones that want to win a premiership and they're the ones that really care about that. Like if they're willing to do that, so I would do it. Personally, I'm just going to say I would do it. And if he's not willing to do that, then he's not a fit for the team.
Ooh, Nico, you hear that?
I know.
Jake's onto you.
Well, that's just the way I see it. Like far out. I don't know that. It's
There is no reason for Nico Hines to go to the club and say, "I'm going to take a pay cut here." Like, no player should ever do that. That's
club to us. That's why I say you risk upsetting him. But if that's what it means and that's how tight your cap is, you look at Nico and you say he's not worth at the moment 1.1 or 1.2, whatever he's on. So you'd look at him and say, look, would you be willing to take this on your next contract so that we can give
on the next one,
Blakey boy, we can give Blakey boy a few extra 100K down the track and backdate his contract, things like that. We haven't had questions for a while because we keep forgetting to do it. But just a quick one there. If you have any other questions, get them in at the moment, guys. We'll quickly answer a couple. But Daniel, if you could sign one player to your team, who would it be? Well, me and Jake are Eels and Trav is the Storm. So I'll go Jake while Trav's having a coughing fit. Hope he's okay. Have a drink, son. Jakey boy. Who would you sign?
I actually didn't catch it again. One more time.
Oh my goodness!
I'll tip it off because I heard whilst I was having my coughing fit. If there's one player I could have
in general,
in for the Melbourne Storm that would fit us perfectly, I'd be signing Payne Haas. Payne Haas would just straighten us up at the Storm and just would make it. He'd change us to unbeatable.
I would have Cameron Munster, pair him alongside Mitchell Moses for a couple of years. He's a big game player. That mentality that he brings in, we've seen it this year and how much the rugby league community respect him as well by recent events and how everyone got around him and players writing names on wrists and things like that. I think he would be phenomenal for the club. Has come on in leaps and bounds in the last few years, really matured as a player. I would love to have Cameron Munster at my team for a 2-3 year period or until he decides to pack it up. And yeah, it'd be fantastic alongside Mitchell Moses. Jake?
No, I think I'm going to actually go the same route as Trav. I think we need muscle in the middle, and I think Payne Haas would be the perfect choice for us as well because we are currently lacking in size and a bit of firepower in the middle.
Okay, well, let me put it to you this way, this question then, Jake. So, sorry, but Payne Haas and Cameron Munster are off the table. They've already been signed by clubs. Who would you sign?
God, you've just absolutely thrown that one on me now. God. Second best forward, probably maybe like a Tino for Malawi. To be honest, I'd take that. I'd be huge for the club.
He's got get out clauses every year apparently, which just doesn't get spoken about because of the Gold Coast Titans. But he could be out the door next year, so we'll see what happens. Let's go to the tips quickly. I've got to get these up quickly. To be honest with you guys, this week is a very boring round tipping wise. I reckon majority of people will have the same tips, so we'll get through these pretty quickly. First game kind of there, but I think we're all anticipating the same thing, but I'll ask it. Roosters against the Storm Thursday night, tomorrow night. Obviously, Storm will probably have a bit of a bounce-back game after Bellamy has blown the roof off a lot of those players this week, in my opinion. Shocked there wasn't a bit more changes there than what happened. I thought there might have been one or two forwards put on notice and made an example of, but at the same time, they've gone back into the realm where they need to win now. They're third place and need to go back in front of the Bulldogs for 2 home finals. Jake, who you got?
Oh, yeah, I've gone Melbourne. And also just quickly to answer Chris's comment, No, I wouldn't go Lockie Gavin. He crossed us. He left. Stuff him. Don't want him back.
Yeah, he's. I'd rather Cameron Munster short term. I want to win a comp soon. I don't want to keep waiting. I'm sick of it. Let me win a comp.
Yeah.
Trav?
I've got the Storm, but I'm with you. I'm a little bit nervous because Munster's not playing. But putting Wishart in that 6 is nice. But yeah, there's a bit of nerves. However, I know that we sort of do. It's very rare that we lose 2 in a row. We have, but it's very rare. So I've got the Storm.
Yeah, and I guess there is a force change because Nass is suspended. So
Who's
I
playing
was
fullback?
hinting. Meany.
Yeah, right.
I was hinting towards a few of the forwards being quite poor last week, I thought. So I guess that has been a force change where I'm interested, Kamika. Just quickly, your thoughts, Trav, because it hasn't quite been the Kamika that we've seen in previous years, really.
I think you've been very generous by saying hasn't quite. I don't think he has at all. The game on Saturday was really funny. Like I had 4 Storm people within my ranks, a couple of them in our Legends group and that messaging me around, we need to make some serious changes with our forward packs. We've got Pahalu and a few others around there. It's time to make changes. And I 100% agree. Our forwards have just not offered much at all this year, and I'm quite disappointed. I'm actually really disappointed in what Stefano's doing at the moment. So I think he needs to pull his head out. And this is an opportunity now that he doesn't have his big brother sitting there coming off the bench to sort of save his ass and make him look good in NAS. So now the position is his. Now the spotlight's on him. So I'm really expecting him to be really big this week. And if he doesn't, I think some things need to start being said. But yeah, I am a bit disappointed, and you summed it up really well, that some of the forwards really need a bit of a shake-up.
Yep. I am tipping the Storm, but I'll say one thing. I reckon the addition again of Sandon Smith will bring a bit more energy to this Rooster side, who has looked a little bit fatigued in the last week or two, especially I think Tedesco's been a little bit below his best, which he needs to spruce back up. And I think Sandon can help that free-flowing football a bit more, which we've seen this year when the Storm have got beaten, it's probably been that bit more free-flowing football that they don't like to deal with too long in their games. Cowboys against the Dragons, Jake?
I'm going to try and zig while other people zag here, and I'm going to go Dragons.
Oh, in Queensland.
Yep. Just doing it
Zag.
just because I'm just down on points because you guys have stitched me up twice. So I'm just going to go with the Dragons to hope for the best. I'm just going to go with the Dragons and hope for the best.
How can you blame us for not getting your tips in on time, knowing full well what the rule was?
Because
Shout out to Tanya, who does a lot of hard work behind the scenes for us. You want to make her go long in her Thursday. Not happening. You're punished. Unlucky. Not our fault. Your fault. Get him in on time.
Anyways, lock it in. He's done the Dragons. I've got the Cowboys up at home.
Yeah, I've got the Cowboys as well. Broncos against the Eels, Jake.
I'm zigging. Let's go, Para. We got it, boys. I'm serious. I'm not kidding. I'm zagging. I'm doing something. I'm zigging. I'm zagging. I'm doing something. Para's got this. Let's go.
Yeah, righto. I think Broncos by a mile.
Yeah, and that's probably fair.
Yeah, I've got the Broncos. I'm not saying anything else apart from that. Warriors against the Titans. Let's guess again. Jake's
got the Titans. He's already said he's picked the Titans. So I've got the Warriors.
I'm not going Titans. Absolutely not. I reckon Warriors 42 plus.
42 plus. Okay. Sports bet. Let's check it out there. Gamble responsibly once again. The Warriors for me. Penrith against the Tigers. One of the Battle of the Wests. Jake.
I've gone Panthers will dominate.
Cleary and Yo back. Edwards getting back to some of his best form that we've seen. Trav, I think all lights are leading to Penrith.
That one, Penrith, yep.
Yep, Penrith. I told you guys it's a very easy week. Joke arounds, if you do have any available in any of your comms, I'd be using it this week, that's for sure. South versus Sharks. Jake?
Sharks.
South
are injury prone.
Injury have anyone
injury
left?
decimated.
Sharkies for me. Raiders against the Knights in Canberra. Jakey boy.
Yeah, Raiders.
Raiders.
Questions.
Tell you what, the Knights were very brave on the weekend. I was actually I did feel for him a bit losing that game. They put so much effort in. Apparently, the whole squad was basically in bed the day before. Only a handful rocked up to captain's run. That's how bad it was. So that was a hell of an effort. I actually just feel like that may have been their peak. Like I think now might be where they're going. All right, the air's out of the balloon, and I think there could be some big losses on their way to the Newcastle Knights. The Doggies against the Manly Seagulls. A replay of that great finals game last year that Manly came back and beat the Doggies. Reid Marnie lost his marbles. Jake?
Doggies, brah. But
Yeah.
to be honest, that's with a grain of salt. He could go the other direction.
Oh, thanks. That helps the viewers out there wanting to copy your tips.
Yeah.
Nah, I've gone Doggies, brah.
I've gone the Bulldogs, and to be fair, this one's the game of the round. I've penciled 4:05 Sunday Arvo. Make sure I'm free doing nothing. I'm very keen to watch this one. I think Manly can get up if they play like they did against the Storm. Yeah, they can get up. The difference being is I don't think the Bulldogs will make 15 errors like the Storm did last weekend. But let's see. But I've got the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I'm not fully sold on the Bulldogs yet. Even though they did win on the weekend, there's still some things I'm watching from their games. What?
Barely.
I said barely. They barely won.
Oh, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I'm just not fully sold yet. I still think when they verse decent opposition, I think they're going to get troubled. I think if they versed anyone else in that top 8 last week, other than the Dragons, they probably lose. So I'm interested to see what Manly outfit turns up, because if it's the Manly of last week, I actually think they'll beat the Dogs quite comfortably. I know it's quite big to say, but I can see him doing that. But I will put my faith in the Dogs at this stage. But that is, I agree, a game of the round, and very keen to sit down and watch that game. Just quickly, we'll answer this Daniel question as well. Can you see coaches coaching players to initiate contact with the chasing defender when attempting field goals now? Goal is easier to kick than a field goal. Trav's nodding his head. I'll let you take this one.
Well, it's kind of like that, abusing kind of the system and the rules to try and get away from things. It's now virtually impossible to get to a kicker, right? It's impossible to do anything for a field goal, and so now we've got to have to find some cheap ways and cheap tactics is what I'm supposed to say the second time. Sorry, to chase that down. And that's exactly one of the things on the weekend that I sort of said to myself, that this is what's probably going to start happening now, is teams will start doing it that way, because it's, you can't get anywhere near it. And it's very hard to go, and it really is really hard to stop a field goal kicker without touching them. Like it is really hard to do it, and to try and do it with purpose and meaningfulness. It's very hard. So yeah, I like the point, Daniel. It's a really good question.
Oh, like NFL out there, won't we? Just everyone taking each other out.
Well, we'd have to start with the lines, right? Yeah.
They'll say, "Oh, we're going for a field goal now, guys. Just stop for a second, get the helmets and pads
Defensive
on,
line,
and we'll take
line.
it." So, yeah, that's interesting to see if that does happen. Who knows though? That's it for us though tonight, guys. Wraps up the week that was. Check out, obviously, we had the round review out on Sunday night. We had the Supercoach podcast released late last night, so go and check that out if you haven't already. Some great points on that injuries in the second row at the moment, which has depleted a lot of sides out there, and a few smokies that I don't think many have heard yet. Make sure you go ahead and look out. Tanya's here saying hello.
Showing her face.
She's showing her face.
Time
Finally,
stamp that 1 minute 19. 1 hour 19.
She's coming hot. As soon as we reach over 119, she'll come on and say a few words. Someone get a question for Tanya if you want. We'll get her to answer it. While I just quickly say goodbye to everyone. Our hats. Don't forget about our hats yet. If you are interested, make sure you message the page. And we've got our hoodies arriving this week. Hopefully it's tomorrow, Friday. If not, Monday or Tuesday. So if you want to pre-order them, please message the page to get them in. Fantastic products. No question for Tanya's coming. She's got away with one, luckily, but would have been nice to see. We'll get a question for Tanya. We'll get her to answer something in the next couple of weeks, that's for sure. Thank you very much, Trav. Thank you, Jake. As everyone has said, get better soon. Trav, we're over you having coffee fits for the last 3 weeks, basically.
I'm over it too.
See you all later. Bye-bye.